I would like to speak to you in case if you struggle and feel uncomfortable in sharing your ideas, values, thoughts, suggestions, stories in front of people in English. Now you have content, but you are not able to express that in front of people in English, and because of that, somewhere you have this fear that is this stopping me from growing in my life? Sometimes you're at the infancy stage of the career. So you're feeling, is it stopping you from getting good job? You're middle of the career. And are you feeling this that yes, I'm working very hard, but because I'm not able to express effectively in front of people, I'm not getting promotion? Or even at the top of the career, every time when you stand in front of your CEOs and directors and those high-fi board meetings, you are not able to express the way you want to express. Understand this, three things required. First, accept it. Unless and until you don't accept it, it will be difficult to learn. So accept it that yes, the reason I am not able to speak or express effectively in front of people is somewhere related, connected to my childhood only, because this is a language we learn as a child only. So maybe you had not gone to convent school, English medium school, just like me. Your parents could not able to afford, or maybe XYZ reason. Or maybe you had gone to convent school or English medium school, but you were not good in studies. Or maybe your teacher was not good in teaching English, whatever XYZ reason. Or maybe you were very excited about English, but there was no atmosphere as a child for you to implement that language in your day-to-day life, where you are speaking with your friends, speaking with your parents, speaking with your other members, so you can improve that language. How can you make or become good in one thing when you are just learning and not implementing it? Accept it. Whatever reason, now you cannot change it. I cannot change it. Right? Accept it. So the first thing which you have to understand that this is the language in Indian Constitution. It doesn't matter whether you are in corporate or whether you are in entrepreneurship journey. When you are entering into the conference room, there is an invisible switch button which you have to press, and suddenly you have to change the language and we have to speak in English. You have to accept it. So you have to accept both the things. Reason why you are not good, and you have to be good if you want to grow in your life. Because if you can speak in English, if you can read slides, you will grow, you will not thrive. Because to inspire someone, you have to express, not just speak. What do you mean by expression? Whatever you have in your mind, without any fear, you have to express in front of people. Unless and until you can't do that, you will not able to inspire people. You will not able to influence people. And if you can't inspire your juniors, and if you can't influence your seniors, you cannot grow in your life exponentially. You will grow, but not exponentially. Accept it. Both the things. Past and present. Number one. Second thing which is required, if you have accepted this, you have to be shameless. Now I'm very respectfully and carefully using this word. You have to be shameless. Why? Because at this point of time, when you will start learning and implementing this skill, you will do mistakes like any other. Imagine for a moment you are learning Spanish, you are learning French. You will do mistakes in Spanish, in French. Same with English. Now, when you will start learning English and start implementing, you take a decision that no matter what, I have to speak, I will speak, I have accepted this, I have to. So you will do mistakes. Unfortunately, especially in India, I have no idea about other countries, and I will be unpleasantly surprised if even other country people also behave like this with this language. Because we have a very strong reason to behave like this. Especially in India, people are just hungry. They are just looking for mistakes when people speak in English. especially those people who are very good in English grammar and pronunciation. Those few fortunate people who parents could able to send them to convent school. So you have to understand this, that you will do mistakes. And when someone is pointing out your mistakes, the only way to handle that situation, not to feel embarrassed and feel shameless. Let me give you an example. This word is very critical to understand. Let me give you an example of shamelessness from my own life. So I'm a very shameless guy. What do you mean by shameless guy? In a very sophisticated, the name I have given to this is called SWM. I remember I'm giving a TEDx talk on this. Someone watching me disease, that I'm shameless because I don't want you to influence, people to influence my life. I will decide what to feel, what not to feel. So if you are pointing a mistake in my language, I will decide whether I have to feel embarrassed or not. Let me give an example of shamelessness, otherwise you will take this in a different context only. I remember I was in 9th standard, and I was famous in my school in 9th standard, by the way, because there were only two students who failed in 9th standard. One, he didn't appear for exam. Another, I appeared for exam, still failed. Now, if you are failing in 9th standard, it means school only failing you because they don't want to spoil the results of 10th standard. And in second attempt of 9th standard, I still remember one day, my English teacher, Champa madam, her name was Champa madam, very nice name. She gave one assignment to everyone, and that assignment was write one essay on friendship. And I was so excited about this because I love friends. It's like when I failed in 9th standard, my biggest pain was not I failed, but my pain was that all my friends, from 1st standard to 9th standard, I've made so many friends. Now they're going further and then they're in the other class and I'm in different class. So I love friendships. I love to make friends. So I thought, okay, very nice topic. And whenever I like something, I do with a lot of passion and commitment. Very few things I like in my life. So I wrote down one essay, and even I was under illusion that English is all about using heavy words. So I sat with the dictionary and I found substitute for each word possible, all within my capacity. For example, the title I have given to that essay was Friend versus Enemy. So I was expressing my thoughts, my philosophy, even at 9th standard, that what do you mean by friendship and what do you mean by enemy? So for enemy, instead of writing enemy, I said enemy is a very common word, foe. F-O-E, foe. This is a separate word, special word. So friend versus foe. And it's sounding good also, F. And I was very excited. I submitted. Suddenly, after a few days, I was sitting in my class and one boy came and he said, Praveen, Champa madam is calling you in section C. And I was in section B. I never heard something like this. No one used to call me. I said, calling me? I was many times I've heard something like this, that Praveen, that teacher is calling your parents. That was very common for me. It's like I still remember Ghatne sir, my Hindi teacher, he called my dad and he looked towards my dad and asked him, do you understand the difference between lady, she has a bindi on the forehead, and lady, she doesn't have a bindi on forehead? And my dad looked towards Ghatne sir and my dad said, yes, there's a huge difference. And Ghatne sir said to my dad, can you explain this difference to your child? He doesn't understand the importance of bindi. In the entire paper, there is no bindis. So I was used to sending my parents to my teacher. I don't remember any teacher calling me. Because most of the times, teacher used to call students in other section when they used to make the students stand in front of other students and they used to clap because that person has done something significant, good marks, some good work. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thought, okay, something is going to happen today. And I went to section C. I said, may I come in, ma'am? And I came inside. As soon as I came inside, I could sense that silence. And there were few kids, they were looking towards me. Few kids kept hand like this on the mouth. And I could also see the few kids, they have slight tears in their eyes. And I just stood. Champa madam looked towards me. I looked towards all the kids, and Champa madam said, he is Praveen. And they all started laughing. They all started laughing. Then I realized that even before she invited me for this moment, she was reading my essay in front of all the kids, and they all were enjoying that. They all were laughing at it. And then she said, "Go, Praveen." I said, "Thank you." And I came outside. And for a moment I thought, shall I feel bad about this? They were laughing at me. And I said, no. Why should I feel bad about it? Because I wrote all my small beliefs, my understanding about friendship. I was very clear in my mind that whatever I wrote from my heart. Language was poor is absolutely okay. That was just a language. So if they could not able to understand that those feelings, it's absolutely okay. They were laughing at English. They were not laughing at me. So I didn't feel any bad. And I'm telling that the feeling of that child. I'm just trying my best to go back on, when I came out from that class and I was going towards my section B, what was going in my mind? I was not at all feeling bad about it. I was absolutely shameless. I'm talking about that kind of shamelessness towards this language. When will people laugh? Let me give a few more examples because this is very critical to understand. It's very easy to become shameless but difficult to understand how to be shameless. When I came to Cipla, my first day in my office, first day only, and my boss was standing in front of me and he was about to leave. He had a big trolley bag in his hand. And I, coming from a small city, poor, of course very poor in education, poor in college, from all angle, I was the first person in Cipla marketing coming from a small city. Otherwise they used to have people from big cities. First time someone from Nasik going, even from Nasik, for the first time in the history of Nasik, someone was coming in marketing, in head office. I was not familiar about all head office and this and that. So I said, "Sir," I saw my boss. He was actually my boss's boss, taking with the trolley. And first encounter, first impression, I said, "Good morning, sir." He said, "Good morning." So I said, "Going outside?" He said, "Yes, I'm going to Glasgow." Never heard this Glasgow. Never heard this place. So I heard Glasgow, okay. And then I replied, "Glasgow. I think it's near Pulgaon, right? Amravati Jilla." And he looked towards me, didn't say anything, and he moved. As someone who just overheard me. No, he was listening to all this. I said, "Praveen, Glasgow is in Scotland. It's not in India." I said, "Okay." I didn't feel bad about it. I said, "Okay, I'm not aware." Shameless. One last example, then I have to move further. After a few days when I was getting stable in marketing job in Cipla, one day my boss said, "Praveen, there is one big news and you have to send information to the team." I said, "Yes, we will send an email, but before that, can we send one teaser SMS?" He said, "What kind of SMS?" I said, "One teaser SMS which will excite them about this news." And he said, "Okay, send one teaser SMS." And I said, "I will send that teaser SMS with regards your name." He said, "Yeah, please go ahead." And I wrote the simple teaser SMS. So we had around 200 to 300 people, sales team, and I was in marketing. So I wrote that teaser SMS. And the SMS was something like this, that in next 1 hour, you are going to receive a message which will excite you like anything. One small mistake I did because I'm not good in spellings and pronunciation. In the word message, instead of E, I wrote A. And the message was reading, all 200, 300 people were reading that message, something like this. So in next 1 hour, you are going to receive a massage which will excite you like anything. Regards, my boss name. Shameless. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about this degree of shamelessness because understand one thing. accept it. When you will learn, implement this language, you will do mistakes. I was learning and implementing. I'm not at all denying learning. At the age of 30, I joined English speaking classes. Again, just few months ago, recently, I appointed one more teacher. So I'm not at all denying the importance of learning. But tell me one skill which you learn, and when you try to implement, you can implement flawlessly. It's not possible. But understand the importance of shamelessness here, because people have a habit of pointing out mistakes in English, and you are implementing that language. You are bound to do mistakes unless and until you are not shameless about it. That's not possible. Not possible. You have to be. Otherwise, you will stop using this language. Otherwise, every time you will have that in your mind, what if I do mistake? What if I do mistake? Create this mind, okay, I'm okay to do mistakes. I will try my best not to do, but in case if I do, if people laugh, I'm shameless. Third thing, you have to understand this, which I'm not saying for the first time, I'm not saying this for the last time, that everything in life is a skill. Only babies are born on this planet. Even walking, now we just take it granted, but as a child we learn that skill. Even moving our hands-eye coordination, each and everything. Apart from breathing, I think, which Mother Nature has given to us, and which Mother Nature has given to every living organism. Apart from that, everything we have to learn. We have learned it. We take it granted, we have to learn it. But what do you mean by learning? What do you mean by mastering one skill? Many times when I ask people how to develop one skill, people say practice, practice, practice. Okay, I ask you to speak in French. What you will do? You will start practicing French. I ask you to swim. What you will do? You will start practicing swimming. Don't you feel that we don't learn first? Same with English. If you have accepted that you have not learned that language as a child, don't you feel that at this point of time, first you have to learn? Learn it first. What do you mean by learn? Join English speaking classes. Doesn't matter, even if you are a CEO of one organization, it doesn't matter. I've gone on TEDx 9 times. I've spoken in IITs IIM several times, but I think that I still need to improve my English the way I have to improve my other things in my life. There's so many other things in my life which I have to improve. English also. Why? Because when I was supposed to learn that language, I was not attentive. I cannot change my past. I cannot change my childhood. Even you can't do that. But if I'm not learning now, I will suffer. Even my entrepreneurship journey, if I can acknowledge by Economic Times as one of the most promising entrepreneur, I have a team of 200 people. All this is possible only somewhere because when I'm standing in front of my clients, in front of my investors, in front of my team members, I was speaking in English only. That has played an important role in my growth. Cannot deny. Your love, your penchant towards your mother tongue, I respect that. But you cannot deny this fact that unless and until you are not learning the skill, and learning means first learn and then practice. So you have to appoint a teacher. In case if you are financially sound, appoint maybe a grammar teacher. Why? Because that grammar teacher can find out what are the mistakes you are making in the formation of sentences. It's not about vocabulary. It's about grammar only. We all have enough words in our vocabulary. Many of us. Enough words in our vocabulary bank. It's all about mindset, that is shameless. That's the reason I've spent more time on that. That you have to be shameless, that is all mindset. And grammar is the skill set in English, not vocabulary. You cannot become champion in any language where you have access to all the words. It's not possible. Grammar is the key. Whatever words you have, the grammar is the link to convert those words into thoughts. And when you're speaking, you know that you're speaking in correct language, correct sentences. And there is no end. You have to keep on learning. So the third point is you have to behave. You have to treat this like a skill, like any other skill. When you run half marathon, you don't expect to complete half marathon in less than 2 hours unless and until you are practicing. So there are two types of half marathon runners. One, they run with a lot of pain. 2.5 hours, 3 hours, even to complete 21 kilometers. I complete 21 kilometers in 1 hour, 52, 53 minutes. That's my best time. But almost throughout the year, every month, 80 to 100 kilometers I run to practice. Because that's learning and practice. So even I've learned from various people how to run correctly. Same with English also, ladies and gentlemen. You have to learn first from correct people and practice. But when you are practicing in real life, there's no logic how much you practice alone. There's no logic that with my son, with my friends, I will speak in English. Unless and until you don't speak in English in your real life, throughout. Have you ever thought why I don't make videos in Hindi? Show my one video in Hindi, because I know the day I will make video in Hindi, that's a shortcut for me. I will stop making videos in English, and then I will lose an opportunity to improve my English. This is the first time I'm telling you on social media, the only reason I make videos in English because I want to improve my English. That's it, because I have understood this is a language which is required to grow. If you can't express yourself in English, you will not able to grow in India. At least in India I'm talking about. So, 3 things to be very precise to those people who are suffering with this pain. First, accept it. You're not good. Second, be shameless. And third, accept it. You have to relearn. Join English speaking classes. And in case if you do mistakes, remember, be shameless. This is Premodalka signing out until we meet again.